Lost my glasses. Freaking Velma here. All right, I guess I'm blind tonight. That's how that's gonna go. I could have sworn I set them here. All right, welcome everyone. I'm a hot mess today, coming in hot. How are you? Welcome everyone on TikTok. If you could give me a thumbs up, let me know that you can hear me and see me all right. That would be greatly appreciated. Welcome everyone on Instagram, same thing. And welcome on YouTube and Facebook. Let me know if you can hear me and see me all right. Going to give this a second to let a few people tune in. And while we do that, I'm going to make a couple quick announcements. Okay. This is the Unbound Sage. So you're going to drop $10 and I am going to deliver to you whatever message the universe has waiting for you. This is not one of my regular Q&A shows. All right, this is just straight up message delivery, and we do move through it very quickly, very rapid fire. So go ahead and drop your donation, and we will call you out by name. Now, if you're on YouTube at Ask Ivy, you're going to be able to see your name up on the screen. All right, and when you see your name up on the screen, that means that you're next. If you guys have any questions about how to leave the donation, where to leave the donation, Jill, my beautiful producer, is posting that in the comment section on Instagram and TikTok because it doesn't allow us to pin it. So there's really nothing we could do about that. New member Bonnie, welcome. Thank you so much. Okay, everybody says yes. You can hear and see me all right. Okay, so a couple quick announcements before we get into today's show. Oh, we have 4 producers in training here tonight. So let's wish them the best. Jill will be overseeing that. All right, so I have Spirits with Spirits Psychic Fair at Margin Manor Winery coming up Sunday, October 13th. You guys can pre-book with the reader of your choice now at ivyrivera.psychicmedium.com. So that's going to be a ton of fun. We also have coming up Victorian Tea and Gallery Show. So I'm back at Margin Manor Winery doing my gallery show, which is essentially a reading for the audience where I'm up on stage. You guys are having a Victorian tea, wine tasting, finger foods. It's a lovely time. And then afterward, I do private readings. So you're going to want to get your tickets for that ahead of time. Again, you can go to my website to do that. We also have coming up, okay, so that's November 24th. We also have coming up a live Q&A that Tiffany Chisler, our tarot instructor, and I are doing. I'll be talking about the psychic mediumship course starting January 7th. And Tiffany Chisler will be talking about the Spirit of Tarot course that she's teaching, also beginning January 7th. For the psychic mediumship course, if you don't want to wait and be with the whole group, you don't have to. We're evergreen. So you can join right now if you want to do that. But anyways, I know a lot of people have questions about both courses, and I think it's going to be easiest just to go ahead, do a live. I'll be speaking on my curriculum. She'll be speaking on hers, and then we'll be, taking through Q&A Wednesday, the 25th, Wednesday, September 25th at 9 p.m. Eastern on all platforms. So check that out. If you have early questions, you can get them into me now as well. We also have coming up Fall-a-Day. I'm so excited about this. So Fall-a-Day is going to be held at the Psych Center in Buffalo, the old historic psych center that I know was a hotel for a while, and then it was taken over by other hands. I've been dying to get in there for years. So Fall-a-Day is a festival we'll be doing at the Psych Center. I will be there October 4th from 4 to 8 p.m. You may want to pre-book with me. It looks like this is going to be a huge event. So you could do that up on my website, Ivy Rivera, psychicmedium.com, or you can try your hand at a walk-in. Now, they are also running this event on the, looks like the 5th, and then like 2 other dates. That's also up on my website. I will not be there on those other dates, but certified graduates from the Ivy League Psychic Academy will be there. So we are doing a whole psychic fair thing there. Okay. So you may want to check them out. We've got tarot readers going. We've got psychic mediums going, pet readings, autographs, all the good stuff. So that's going to be a huge event. So Fall Day is, for me, that's going to be October 4th. Okay. The other dates are the 5th, the 19th, and I believe the 18th. Okay. But again, I'm not there on those days. The other readers will be though. So awesome. If you've been wanting to check out the psych board, lots of fun. Okay. We also have going on, Oakwood Cemetery. Okay. So, and this is the last thing I'm going to announce today, so we can go ahead and start getting into the messages. So Oakwood Cemetery in Niagara Falls does a fundraiser, and this wasn't able to run last year, and I was so disappointed about it, but it's back this year. So probably my favorite event of the year. I do a gallery reading up at the front of the mausoleum, and then I go into the back of the mausoleum and I do private readings with you by candlelight under the beautiful stained glass windows. You guys are doing, dinner there. You're doing this sort of ghost tour through the cemetery. There's trolleys running and a lot of live musicians. It's just an amazing, amazing, well done event. So that's going to be Saturday, October 5th. And you're definitely going to want to get your tickets for that ahead of time. I know it does sell out, and the place isn't massive. Okay. So we fit as many people in as we can. And my readings have always sold out. So by the time you get there, if you didn't pre-book, the odds of getting a walk-in are very, very slim. Okay. So for any of this, go to ivyrivera.psychicmedium.com. If you guys want to get a private reading with me, book a party with me, or a psychic fair, you can do that on the website as well. Meow. Do you hear Ezzy? Begging for what, mama? Come on. All right. So welcome, everyone. I'm Ivy Rivera. I'm a psychic medium, a tiny no airwalk. And this is the Unbound Sage, where I am delivering whatever message to you the universe has for you. So you're dropping your $10 donation, and we're going to move through these as quickly as possible. If you are on YouTube at Ask Ivy, you'll see your name pop up on the screen, and that means that you're next. Okay. Watch if you are on Instagram or TikTok in the comment section for Jill, my producer, to post where you can make your donation. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Who's first, Jill? Catherine J. All right, Catherine J, what do I have for you? I feel like it's really important that as you go forward, you speak your truth. You have some throat chakra stuff going on. Now, we can get a closed throat chakra for one of 2 reasons. Either A, you aren't speaking your truth, or B, you did and it was disrespected. It wasn't received. Nothing changed. You are at the deadline, meaning right now, as of today, I would even say in the last 48 hours to 3 days, you are done with this cycle in your life. So it's sort of the end of a karmic chapter for you, and you have to make that be so. And what that means going forward, and this is probably going to stretch out between 2 and 3 months, depending on how you handle it and how other people behave. Okay. We can't control other people. Everyone has free will, but you can control yourself, and that will greatly dominate these situations. What you're going to do is speak your truth. And if you already did, you're not going to come at it again. You're not going to say it in a different way. You're not going to say it at a different time. You are simply ready to set boundaries. Sometimes those boundaries mean walking away, and we're going to see what we're dealing with from here forward. But it is done. It is time for you to get that out of your throat. And I wouldn't be surprised, and I can't prescribe or diagnose, but if you've had any problems with like swollen glands, thyroid issues, chronic migraines, anything essentially from here to here, it may just disappear. That's the end of that tale for you. Okay. As long as you do this. Thank you so much. We're going to move on to another one. This is from Bonnie. Oh, Bonnie became a YouTube member. Thank you so much, Bonnie. So Bonnie Solansky. Sorry, guys, if I massacre the names. Bonnie, what message do I have for you? You know, you have a lady coming through here who watches over you in a maternal way, who says that you're sort of picking everything from your garden. And you would have been doing this over the last probably 2 to 3 months, more like 2 months. And then again, about 2 weeks. She's proud of you for this because you've had a tendency in your past to say, I'm going to hold on to everything, you know, maybe kind of hoarding things. I'm not saying you're a hoarder, but some people have a tendency to hold on to emotions and habits and relationships and memories and the old way of being. And the idea, she says, of having a beautiful garden, and this may be more symbolic than literal for you, but the idea of having a beautiful garden is not so that, you know, you can worry about it and want to protect it and never want to pick a single, you know, rose and bring it into the house for enjoyment. It's so that you can enjoy the fruits of your labor. You know, the earth is always providing. The universe is always giving more. Tides are always turning. There's always something new around the bend. And this is really about you learning to let go and celebrate more, celebrate your own self more as well. This is about self-love, self-care, and just having a good time in general. So I basically see you going to this garden with a giant pair of scissors or those clomper things and just taking stuff up, you know. And I think that it's time for you to also get into a higher vibration with your energy after doing this for yourself, where you have more to give out to others. Okay, so a lot of celebration here. We're going to move on to another one. This is Maraid. Maraid, when I go over here with you, I feel like, okay, the universal hand coming right across your mouth. Now, what this can mean is that you're about to enter into different situations. I'm getting between 4 and 6. Now, could this be 4 to 6 days? It could. I was feeling a little bit more like weeks. And then I think we are even honestly going to see this between like 4 to 8 months total. Okay, so you're getting into a period of time where you need to not speak. Now, when we're talking about holding your words in, we're not just talking about your literal words. Okay, we're talking about how you show up when you don't show up, how you present yourself. You know, how are you dressed? How is your body representation and body language? You know, it's about the conversations and texts that you engage in and react to, and also what you don't respond to, leaving people on red, whatever it is. You need to understand all the different ways that you actually communicate with people in the world around you, and you need to pull back. Not in all situations. You need to be talking more with those that are open to understanding you, those that want to spend time with you, those that are increasing your happiness and see your value. And you need to spend less time talking and feeding situations where the polar opposite is true. Okay, so you're going to get tested in this area. I see some crazy stuff happening here on Instagram, like always. If you guys want to switch over to YouTube at Ask Ivy, I would highly recommend it. Also, for those of you on TikTok, love you. If you guys could keep tapping, greatly appreciated. Also, if everybody could please give this video a thumbs up, drop a comment of any kind. It does help me out in the algorithm, and please do subscribe. But if you are on TikTok, no, TikTok hates me, and they will shut me down at some point. So you may want to switch over here. Thank you so much for the hearts. How thoughtful. If you want to switch over to YouTube at Ask Ivy, that may be wise. Okay. All right, let's get to another one. We have from a Shar H. Okay, Shar, what do I have for you? You know, I have her back getting up, kind of like a cat gets real, almost like paranoid about something, and it is a playful type energy sometimes, where it's almost like, I'm afraid of you, or I'm going to hunt you, or something crazy is going to happen. And it's just this desire to get into some drama, some chaotic energy, right? I feel this with you, and it feels like it could be coming up in romance. It could be coming up in, you know, dating in general. It could be coming up in relationship dynamics, and you may just be doing this to your own self. You know, sometimes when we need a little bit of a belly flop, we need some butterflies, you know, we need a rush of energy. We can forget that we can do that for ourselves, you know, and so it's like you're you're approaching and being approached by what looks like some romantic partner or partners, but you are coming at it with this defensive attitude and wondering, or more like judging and saying something bad is going to happen here. And I think that's wise, of course, to have that opinion until someone can prove otherwise. We don't trust first. We make them earn it first. But I do think that you may be overdoing it. So remember that if you're going through a period for the next probably 2 to 3 weeks, maybe 4, we'll see, but you have some nervousness, some anxiety, some tension, you know, some drama, you may be adding to this, and it really doesn't need to be there as much as it is. Okay, so be mindful, be open, and be curious. You know, curiosity did not kill the cats. Cats have 9 lives. I see them do crazy things every day. You'll be absolutely fine. Enjoy. We're going to move on to another one. This is Yolanda. Yolanda, what do I have for you? I have coins going into the bank account. So if you've been worried about money, resources in any capacity, we are looking at an increase going in. Now, this would have started probably in the last like 48 hours to 3 days. And once it's in there, it's in there. Once it's in the bank account, you know, or the jar, as I'm seeing it, coins dropping in the jar for you, it's there, and you don't have to worry about it after that. You may want to start taking on more of an attitude of relaxation, manifestation, law of attraction, bask in that energy of prosperity, really enjoy the fact that it's in there, instead of being like, okay, I could check that off my list. Now, what else can I worry about? You know, or, okay, that's great, but it's not enough. No, 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 no. We're not doing that. We are going to have an attitude of gratitude. We are going to feed it. And we are going to claim more. Okay. So this is sort of your golden window, you know, of opportunity here to be doing that. I also think that if there are any changes that you wanted to make with previous investments, employment, contracts, renegotiations, verbal and, you know, like literal, this would also be a good time for that, because they are going to be sort of resurrecting for re-examination, and the possibility of you upping the ante here, you know, getting more for yourself is definitely visible. Thank you so much. Edgar on YouTube. YouTube members, if you become a YouTube member, you do get moved up to the front of the line on all my live shows. Edgar, what message do I have for you? You know, I'm getting a throat chakra thing with you as well, but this is to the past. Okay, so we're talking about some stuff coming up in your life, and there's talk of 2. I think this would have been the last probably 2 months, but 2 weeks and 2 days more intensely, where we see some resurrecting of past, maybe rejection or trauma or low self-esteem. I have people saying things to you that aren't very kind. So we could be talking about family, we could be talking about teachers, you know, your upbringing in general. But I do think people don't always do that through words. There are a lot of ways to say something, and sometimes it's more about like rejection. And if you fear being left out, if you fear being rejected, if you fear that you're in a period of time in your life right now where you are not able to sort of achieve to a standard that you've set for yourself, I would treat this almost like a detoxing. Like, you may feel like you're sort of vomiting up all of this negative energy that was instilled in you, and it does ultimately feel like it's coming out through your throat chakra. So you do have some issues here, which can be causing, again, problems anywhere from here to here: swollen glands, thyroid issues, allergic reactions, esophageal problems, sinus problems, chronic migraines. Okay, but essentially anything in through here that you've dealt with, you're going to be able, in transmuting this pain into power, you're going to be able to eliminate that as well. Okay. And the future looks very bright for you. Like, once we're done and over this, I see like a rainbow. Okay. So rainbow after the storm, and some benefits coming in for this, prosperity across the board. All right. Thank you so much. Emily D. Emily, what do I have for you? You know, there's some talk of romance here, and it's kind of like, I don't want to say disappointment, but maybe being numb. You know, if you find yourself in a relationship situation or a pattern of relationship situations where it's kind of like, meh, I don't know. I mean, it's okay. Maybe you've said like, well, it's better than being alone. But at this point, it's almost like you're really examining that. You're like, is it? I don't know about that, because it's a lot of work to have a relationship. It's a lot of work just to date. It's a lot of work to have somebody around, okay, that you have to kind of maintain the whole thing. And you may just be looking and saying like, what if I just sunk all that into myself? What if I just, really poured into me and fully centered me? And as you go forward, you're having to look at the past. As you go forward, you need to examine where you've been, who you've dealt with, what it's taught you, and especially what you've learned about your own self and what makes you tick. And I wonder if you're finding that a lot of people you get involved with, and this doesn't have to just be romantic, but if you're finding that a lot of people you get involved with really aren't pouring back into you, okay? And this may be a great time for you to also examine who you are. It's very common that when people reach that point where they're identifying that their relationships aren't it, they're realizing they don't understand themselves very well. Okay. So this is time for you to like date you and figure out who you are. Okay. Thank you so much for that. Manny on Facebook. Manny, what do I have for you? I have you shutting some things down and shutting some people down. I have your temper being a little bit, yeah, it's there. It's on the surface. So if you typically do pretty well, calm, cool, collected, you never lose your shit in front of everybody at least. I think that going forward for the next probably 2 to 4 months, we do have a peak at 2 months. We have a peak again at 4 months. I think you're going to find yourself in a unique position to let some of that steam out. And that doesn't mean that you don't control yourself or that you don't have free will. You can just prepare for this and do really well with it. But I do think there is a time to speak out. And I think that if more people were speaking out in our society in general, we wouldn't be in the fix that we're currently in this world. Okay. So don't apologize for standing up for what's right, especially if you feel like someone's conning, scamming, or disrespecting. That's okay. Put them in their place. I feel you being in a greater position of power. And I feel you, again, cutting some other things off. So I want to say with people across the board, if they're pulling some shenanigans, you're not having it. Okay. So you're not playing. And I pity the fool who thinks they can play with you as you go forward. You are also doing this in large to conserve your energy. Okay. Because you're sick and tired of wasting it on nonsense. And there are plenty of people who should be standing on their own 2 feet and contributing something great instead of siphoning and taking. You're done. Okay. Your tolerance is zilch. Good for you. We're going to move on to another one here. This is from a Lori B. Lori, what do I have coming in here for you? You have a lot of loved ones coming in. You have a gentleman who watches over you in a paternal way. I feel like I'm pushing 6 foot, I have another guy, I'm hearing like 5'9". You have a couple ladies as well. I feel like lately you've been calling them in, and that's obvious, okay, that you have been talking with them more. You've been asking for some guidance. I also feel like you've been asking for some uplifting energy and truth, almost like asking your loved ones to come through and show you the truth about what you're supposed to be doing. So this guidance is more like directional advice. And I feel collectively what they're saying to you is focus on what makes your heart healthy and happy and what keeps your heart open, and don't be afraid to cut some things loose. So it's sort of like saying, I love this saying, right? I use it like a tick. Every time the bus stops, somebody's got to get off. In order for a new door to open, another door has to close. It's very much like that. If you want to create this lifestyle for yourself, you want to get on this different path, you want to have these feelings of comfort and peace and feel energized every day and fulfilled in your life, you're going to have to let go of things that are preventing that from happening. All right. So don't be afraid to do that. I also feel like it's good for you to start, if you haven't already been doing so, maybe you've been trying a little bit more, but definitely at least for the next 3 weeks, get yourself in a habit of having a daily cup of tea or coffee just with you. Okay, just I'm going to feel, I'm going to think whatever pops in my head. There's no agenda. You're not answering anybody on the phone. People aren't coming in and bothering you. It's just you, right? And I'm sure they'll be dropping some messages during that time. You're going to have some interesting insights if you do that. All right, thank you for that. Cliche on YouTube. What do I have for you? I have you talking to people quite a lot. This is going to go forward. I'm getting 6 to 7 months with the peak between the 6th and the 7th month, which means that we're going to see some life-changing experiences, mostly looking like a promotion, an increase in your resources, also your job title. So in the 7th month, you're looking back, even as recent as the 6th month, the month prior, and saying, wow, this is pretty unrecognizable. And you may yourself feel a bit unrecognizable. From here to there, you're setting some standards with the way people approach you, with where you spend your time, attention, affection, and energy, and what you deserve to get paid. Now, payment is not just about money necessarily. It's about reciprocity. It's about energetic exchange. I did a video this week on bartering, with a native friend of mine. I mean, there are a million different ways to get paid, but you must get paid. And you're going to be recognizing more and more when you're not, okay? And you just may not necessarily harshly cut off these situations, but you may just sort of exit scene left or detach and stop feeding it. Typically, if you stop feeding something like that, it's going to go away on its own. Things don't need to be as dramatic as a lot of people make it out to be. And I think you've learned this over the years. I can just detach and let things fall off, So that may be an easier way to do it. There's no reason for you to put more effort into it if you don't have to. Now, I also think that what's showing up between the 6th and the 7th month and all this promotion that you have coming in, it's almost like your ants marching. Okay, I'm hearing that Dave Matthews song, Ants Marching, but it's like, what do ants do? If you watch Colony of Ants build something, reconstruct something, what they do for each other, it's phenomenal. Okay, you've been carrying the load, you've been doing the work. This is karmic payout for you in a big way. And your speech is on point, direct, you're channeling spirit, you're healing people. You are in a power position and leadership like you've never been in. I love this for you. We move on to another one. Thank you so much. Jill H on YouTube. Jill H, what do I have for you? I feel like one of the things you've been trying to do lately is sort of get a monkey off your back, get some stress off your back. You've been trying to get rid of things that are weighing you down in general. And you may be looking to relationships and circumstances outside of you and saying, these are the problems. This is where the monkeys are coming from. And I want, what's that saying? Not my circus, not my monkeys, but they are your monkeys. They are 100%. That is your circus. That is your tent. You sold the tickets to the show. You keep showing up there. And so there is this sense now of you cutting all of that off and saying, I'm no longer looking outside to, yes, okay, it's valid that these are the problems. These are the things or people, situations causing me stress. However, now, what you're going to be doing is looking more to yourself, okay? So being internal and saying, what in me is untapped? What resources do I have that I have not ever used, I didn't realize were there, or I have not fully utilized? And how can I apply those to my life now and going forward so that I can get these monkeys off my back? I can breathe more easily, okay? I can have greater confidence. I can enjoy my life more. And I think it's not difficult to do, but it does take some focus and willingness. You also have a rush of water coming in, and it's like the minute you start to do that, all of this detoxing energy comes in from the universe. I think we forget this. I think we forget that we don't have to do all the work on our own, that the universe will come in like a rush of water in the ocean and just wash everything away, and you have to just let it happen. Okay, so there's a lot for you to celebrate as you go forward if you do this work. We're going to move on to another one from an Ayana. This is Ayana F. Okay, so Ayana, what do I have for you? I have you writing out these love letters, and this is like sort of strange symbology. So I have you writing out these love letters literally, not like an email, but on paper, and then putting them in an envelope, licking it and sealing it, and then putting a kiss, like red lipstick, kiss on the envelope, and sending off these love letters. Now, I think this is 100% symbolic. If this is something you're doing, more power to you. But What this looks like to me is that you are getting ready to make peace, send love to those in your past who have maybe disappointed you, wherever there's been a loss. This may also be something you're doing with yourself. Parts of yourself where your self-esteem has been taken away, where you have cost yourself, you've gypped yourself, you've cheated your own self out of things. You're giving love to that inner child. You're giving love to that part of yourself. And situations that just probably haven't worked out, or caused for you to be hesitant about going forward in your life. One of the things that you tend to do is you look at something you want to create or something you feel you're supposed to do, and you go, well, I don't know, because this is how it's going for other people, or this is how it could potentially go wrong, or this is how it went wrong for me in the past. You seem to not understand that these things are not connected whatsoever. Okay. So there is what you're called to do, and that is for you, and it will work out. And it's like, in giving this release, in sending these love letters to these situations, these people, these parts of yourself, your past, okay, as a whole, you're going to free up so much space in your chakras from the root, okay, all the way to your crown. And there's not going to be anything else you really have to do after that. Okay. It's just going to really be coming to you, probably for like 7 months, coming, all this, energy and opportunity coming into you. It's pretty dynamic stuff. Enjoy. We have another one from Shay. Shay, what do I have for you? I feel like you've been recognized, and this is coming up just slightly to the past. So if you've been recognized for the work you do, for how you present, for you as a brand, sort of, people are seeing you, hearing you, you're in people's mouths, you're in people's ears. I love that for you. But if people have been coming to you and saying, flattery, but no pay is there, it's like, I don't care what you think. I don't care about your compliments. I don't care if you don't like me. I don't care. Pay up. Okay. So there needs to be more of an attitude of like, okay, I'm not going to become complacent and, play along and pretend to be satisfied because I'm getting the acknowledgement, the attention, the kudos verbally. I need to see it in a concrete contract. This needs to be on paper. We need to be, showing proof, basically. I think this could be happening with work and career and your resources. I also think it's happening in relationships. And I think that, people have learned to be incredibly manipulative. We are coming from several generations of narcissism. And we, as the younger generations, are here to break this pattern once and for all. And what happens when you're dealing with people who were raised up, I'm not saying you have narcs in your life. I'm saying you have people with narcissistic tendencies in your life. Okay, we all do. There's a lot of sweet talking. There's a lot of charm. There's a lot of manipulation. There's a lot of word play. There's a lot of talking out both sides of the mouth. There's a lot of, promises made and no delivery behind it. So, you pay more attention to that as you go forward. Okay, do we have any other ones, or are we at time? I just want to say thank you everyone for tuning in. This is a brand new show. I did one other episode and you guys really responded well to it. So I want to hear if you enjoy this type of message delivery. I still have my other paid shows going on with Q&A. Typically every 2 weeks, those are going out on love and relationships, money, career, and investments. I do another one on your intuitive intelligence. And we have Dear Ivy also coming up, which is a free show, a play off of Dear Abby, where I give you advice, for free, just coming more from me. Okay, Shay says, yes, we like it. Okay, so give me some feedback. Let me know if this is a show that I should officially put into the weekly schedule, and I will do so. And I think all the producers in training did a great job. Thank you so much, Jill. Thank you, Spirit. If you guys need to book a reading, a party, or a psychic fair with me, go to Ivy Rivera, psychicmedium.com. Have a good night.